Hey guys, welcome back. It is Ruby with another pad review. Today I'm checking out something I haven't touched in a while, a cloth mouse pad actually sent over to me by 100. Quick disclaimer, while this pad was sent to me, it won't affect my opinions, and I've tested it for easily over 100 hours, and it's been my main pad for about 3 weeks. I received the medium-sized control variant, which is the Dart of their new lineup, and it measures in at about 490 millimeters by 430, and is about 4 millimeters thick. Right out of the box, this is labeled a hybrid pad, but it felt extremely fast. Honestly, faster than I'd expect for a hybrid. After about 2 weeks of break-in period, I did feel a lot of changes in it, and it definitely slowed down. Where I feel the really hybrid label comes into this is with smaller flicks and little micro adjustments, you're going to be getting a lot of traction and a lot of stopping power and control. But when you go to do those longer flicks, or full 360s, whatever the more longer strafe movements may be in whatever game you're playing, this pad moves ridiculously fast, and then it can come to a halt and you can do those micro flicks and other micro adjustments super easily. Now for me, I did have a problem with that. While you can slow down, and this is, after break-in period, a more hybrid pad, making micro adjustments on this thing is not easy. I was using the 4D warp speed skates on this. Those are the glass dots meant for cloth pads, and honestly I was having a really hard time being super precise and careful with my crosshair placement and my micro flicks and adjustments. For me, this pad was perfect for games like Fortnite, Overwatch, and Marvel Rivals, but for more aim-intense games and tactical shooters like CS, Valorant, a lot of Kovacs drills, I wasn't finding a lot of success in this pad, just because slowing down and trying to do those micro adjustments felt almost too hard. Like I would stop the mouse and I would flick it a little too far, just because there was so much friction and stopping power that when the mouse finally moved, it moved more than it should, if that makes sense. Overall, build quality is really solid. Didn't have any issues with this except one tiny fray, which can kind of be expected from a pad that's cloth at this price point. The PU foam base is also really solid. It grips way better than something like the AlphaCell V2, in my opinion, on other cloth pads. Design wise, I also really dig it. It's clean and simple, just calming ring design that honestly reminds me of an old Apple wallpaper or some of the other 3D wallpapers you've seen in the community. No flashy characters, no crazy scenes, and I really appreciate that because I like to have a calm vibe at my setup, and sometimes it's hard to achieve when there is just so much going on with the pad, so many different clashing colors and things like that. Overall, at around $40, I think it's a great buy if you plan to play a lot of third-person games or anything that relies on more longer mouse movements. For a lot of these Fortnite kids in the scene, I'd recommend this. It's very similar to like an Aqua Control V2. It's just a little thicker, and it's, I'd say, almost comparable to an Enigma from 4D, but it's just a little thinner than that pad and a little more controlled. Big thanks again to 100 for sending the Dart pad over. It honestly really changed my view on cloth pads as a whole. Coming from someone that only uses glass, it was a really interesting and fun experience switching to cloth for about a month or so. Again, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know your experience with this pad if you have any. Drop any questions you have in the comments, and make sure to check me out on my other platforms in the description. With that, peace.